Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of the Animal Barn Build. Right now I'm framing out one of my sliding doors. This is one of three sliding doors. This one's roughly 4 foot wide by 8 foot tall. This is going to be where the goat stall is going to be at. And I'll have a main slider. You can kind of see it in the background. Roughly an 8 by 8 slider. And then I'll have one more small slider just as a extra stall in case you want to add some other animals down the line. So I'm measuring up 3.5 inches from the bottom of my grade board. So if I was doing a concrete floor in here, which I'm not, I'm doing a dirt floor, but well, either way, my concrete floor or my dirt floor would come up to 3.5 inches up from the bottom of the grade board, which would represent my 4 inch slab. But in this case, I'm just doing dirt, but my dirt is going to be flush with the bottom of this notch out in this doorway. And then you can see I added a stiffener on the back of that, a 2x4 treated, just to stiffen up the 2x8 since I notched it out. So I just did a stiffener from post to post. And here I'm putting in the edge to my door, the side of my door. The post is going to be the right side of the door, and then I'm putting in the left side of the door. I notched it at the bottom to go around my stiffener. I'm not cutting it off to height yet because at this point I'm not quite certain exactly how the track and all that's going to come together when I put my sliding door together. So I just left the height long, cut the opening open. It's always nice you can get someone to help you out with a tape measure there. And we're just measuring over in that last view where we want the other slider door. So here I go again. I'm just measuring 3.5 inches up the bottom of the grade board. Do a straight line across. Get some kids over there to give me some support. Um, just marking out the inside. I run my circular saw. And where I'm cutting that is also 10 foot down from the bottom of those floor joists, so I have 10-foot ceiling height in this barn. And I was just testing out, setting up my laser there just for I'm going to put my other sidewall support. Yeah, so after I notch this down, I'm going to add a treated 2x4 between the two posts because that just really strengthens up this part that, gets a little bit weaker when I cut that notch out of it. And I always got to think of ways to, when I need a hand just to put a little 2x4 support over there at the bottom of the grade board to hold the other end of the 2x4 I'm screwing in. You just come up with creative ways and you're by yourself to figure out how to hold stuff straight, hold long stuff up when you're short of hand. I mean, Amy's always wanting to help out, or she does help out a ton, but sometimes we both can't be out here working on it together with other stuff going on, kids sports or whatever else we got going on. Then I'm just starting the side of my door opening. I set up that laser. Nothing special. I mean, it would have been really nice to have what they call like a transit laser that spun around this thing when I was setting it up. It was a very time consuming pain in the butt just taking that small laser and putting it on a tripod, but I just didn't really want to spend the money on a transit laser when I'm only doing this barn and one other barn. I mean, it would have been really helpful and saved me a ton of time and things would have been, you know, very spot on. I mean, I'm not saying it didn't come spot on with the smaller one. It was just more time consuming and not as efficient. But it wasn't bad. I just put it on a tripod and just kind of had to keep rotating it and then just go back and double check everything. And this is the main sliding door that's eight by eight. I'm just putting in my blocking. I need that blocking for when I come back and put my steel siding on. It gives me something to hook all my trim into, just screw my J channel into and stuff like that. Just gives me a nice nailing nailing area to hook all that in, all my trim. I'm going back and just filling the blocking in on the sliding doors. The sliding doors I'm making out of 3/4 inch BCX plywood. It's for outdoor grade, outdoor use, and then I'll paint it to match the siding of the barn. I'll do some nice white X across it, give it that nice animal barn feel to it. So I'm going ahead, putting the blocking in on this door as well. Like I said, I haven't put the header in on this yet just because I don't quite know exactly where I want the height to be. I mean, I know I'm using an 8 foot piece of plywood, and I want it to overlap the bottom of grade board a couple inches, but I don't quite know how it's all going to come together with the track, so I'll just have to figure that out before I mount the header. And this is the walk door. We just have the one walk door. In this door, since I had the main slider door there, I just did a 32-inch wide door. I don't feel the need to put a 36-inch door in there. I kind of like the look and the feel, just having a little bit smaller door, and it's mostly just for, well, like it is, just walking through. I'm not hauling any main appliances or anything through. I need like a 36-inch wide door here. I'll just open the slider up whenever I got to get anything large into the barn. And now I'm notching out. These are the two sides of the door frame, and I'm just notching out to go around my stiffener board that I put on the back side of the grade board, that 2x4 you saw in the previous door openings. I got one of my little guys there, just wanting to come hang out. What you working on? I don't know. Animal barn? Up and down, up and down. No, they have a lot of fun. They come and ask a lot of questions, climbing everything. They help out a little bit. There you go. Yeah, you help me out there a little bit. Just explore stuff, check stuff out, touch all your tools, touch all your wood, ask what you're doing, go play with the animals. The goat run was quite a bit larger than that. You can see the old barn is still there, but the goat run was a lot bigger, but it came into the area of where this animal barn is. We had to notch it back a little bit. They still have room over on the far side of the barn over there, but we had to shorten up their area for the time being until the animal barn gets done. Yes, I'm cutting off the walk door because I know the exact height I'm doing on that. And then I'll put in the top of the door frame there, and then I'll come back with a 2x4 similar to the girts. I'll add a 2x4 to connect to the top of the door frame there and just really stiffen it up after I cut out the opening here. It's just nice when you finally get to the stage of the barn build, you start seeing stuff come together. It's just like building, 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 and then you start, kind of starting to do some of the touches on it, like, oh, where the doors are going to be and stuff like that. It really starts taking shape. It starts to get pretty exciting at this point. I mean, really every stage of it's exciting when you complete it. Getting all the posts in the ground, getting all your girts hooked up, building out all your rafters or putting all your floor joists in. It's nice seeing all the crisp lines come together. It's a lot of hard work and a lot of time. It's mostly just time. I mean, nowadays you can figure out how to do this stuff, and as long as you're willing to set aside some time and have some patience, you make mistakes, but as long as you're, willing to go back and just kind of correct it and move forward, it's just time. A lot of people can do this. I guess it's like anything though. If you're willing to put the time in, you can figure out how to do it. It's just that whole time versus money. Sometimes your time's more valuable at that point in life, and you just want to spend the money to get it done. I mean, it's nice just to say, hey, here, whatever, here's the money. Get my barn built here in a week or whatever. It's nice. It'd be nice to do that, but at the same time, I like learning. I like, I like learning each step of it and putting it together. I'd never done anything of this magnitude or anything. Just help put some walls in or tear some walls down, just some little minor things, build some shelves in a basement and stuff like that. But nothing of this size. I mean, I did a farm style kitchen table. I mean, that was fun, just learning how to do that, but nothing like this. So this is fun, just learning it, doing research every part of the way. I mean, on YouTube nowadays, you can watch videos and figure out how to do a lot of stuff, or at least get ideas on how other people do it. And then you just come and you just modify it to what works in your application. And that's what I do. Like I mentioned in the last episode, our buildings. I got a lot of ideas from him. He doesn't do this identical, roof style, the gambrel roof, or do the floor joist like I did, and I embedded my post down in the ground. He does concrete sono tubes that come up that he puts his post on. But you still watch and you get a lot of ideas, and you just modify your project to, what you're looking to get out of it, or your budget, or the type of roof you want. He does the gable style roof. You want a gambrel style roof, you just modify it to, to what it is. Then I'm going back here to the sliding doors and adding in the top of the sliding door, and then I'll come and add the girt style header just to really stiffen it up. At this point, I went and did a little research and just figured out exactly how the track all comes together, and you know how tall I need my plywood to be, and how far I want it to overlap the bottom, and just started going at it. I think they turned out to be, I don't know, around 7.5 foot or a little bit more, because I wanted a little bit of overlap at the bottom, overlap in the grade board just to, a little bit, just so keep some of the wind out and stuff like that. So I ended up getting hopefully my last shipment of the siding, the side steel, the red side steel. A couple different lengths there, shorter ones to run the eave sides, and then the longer ones for the gable ends. And I got my charcoal gray roof steel in there. Today wasn't the most ideal day to get going on it. It ended up raining this afternoon, so I didn't even work on it at all. I decided to frame out some window boxes. Some window boxes over there. I got 6 windows on the barn. Oh, 2 on this wall. 1 in the back corner. Back we'll have the chicken coop. And then I'll have two upstairs towards the front of our property, and then 1 upstairs in the loft area towards the back of the property. I also got all my trim and soffit steel and all that. Just got that covered up. Try to keep, I guess, some of it dry. Yeah, so it's still sprinkling out here a little bit, but I want to get some progress done since I'm not working on the roof today. So I'm gonna put in my window box header. I call it the header. It's not actually a header, but it's kind of the top of the window box and the bottom of the window box. I'll put in I guess what I'm calling the header, which would be, I'm gonna do the same height as the door. I want the windows the same height as the walk door. I just think that aesthetically looks good. So I'll add a header right there, and then a header over there, and then obviously I'll have a lower support as well in both of those for the window boxes. But I'm gonna start out with the headers. I'm gonna trim that one back a little bit because I need to hit that post with the header. So I'm gonna set the camera down and get working. thinking must not be level. Good. You like that? Good. I don't like that. Maybe. That's pretty close. It's good. Should be good. Here I am, hanging the window boxes on the main floor area. After I get the window boxes in there, I come back with some 2x4s in the side that I put on either side of the window box, and then I'll fill that in with blocking. So that gives me a nice, good nailing surface, just like around the other doorways to hook all my J channel or screw some steel into, hook all my window flanges into, just a nice solid nailing surface. Again, there's different styles you can do this. This is just how I wanted to do it. And these windows here are a 30 by 42, 30-inch wide by 42-inch long on the two on this side. And then the other windows in the barn, I went 24 by 36, 24 wide by 36. So now I'm starting on the second window on the main floor, facing the interior yard. I'm using screws to tack it in. All my Windows boxes, I use screws to hook them together. I think that gives you a nice tight, connection, and you can hold it together real good while you're hooking the window boxes together. Nice square edges and all that, as opposed to trying to hold it and shoot a nail in. So I'll use screws for that. I mean, you'll see me using screws when I'm hooking the window boxes in, or you know, tacking in the header for the windows and stuff. But I'll go back and I'll finish it off with the nail gun. On the sliding doors, I'm coming back and adding a 2x8 header as opposed to a 2x4, because I need a little bit more meat there to hook the sliding door material to the track and stuff like that. So I'm just putting a 2x8 up there. I just had to do a slight notch out in the door openings because the top of the 2x8's touching the next girt row.
That's no big deal. Now I'm in the front loft area. My parents are back from Florida from their 6 months down there during the winter. So I got my dad up there helping me, finishing up, framing out the loft windows, my mom in the lawnmower, her coming back and helping out with the lawn cutting and stuff like that. That frees up a ton of time. I didn't expect that, but super glad that she's helping out with that. Cutting 1.6 acres, that helps out a lot. My older boy helps out as well. At least this year he started helping out a little bit, but it was nice when Grandma came home to help out. Frees up my evenings for me and my dad and to work together. It helps out with Amy too. She doesn't have to be helping me out. I mean, she likes to help, but she's got other stuff going on or running kids' sports around and doing stuff. So I did two windows in the front loft area and one in the back. I would have done two in the back, but I had the stairs come up the back wall, so I just did one in the center. So when you get to the top of the stairs, you can easily reach the window if you want to open it or close it. I do like the two window look in the front. Some people will do a large slider or just one single window, but I do like the two window look. These are 24 wide by 36 tall. I mean, I could have went a little bit larger, but I just thought that look was aesthetically, whatever, appealing to the overall look of the barn. So we got the first window thrown in there, and then my wife and my daughter came over and they wanted to be a little bit of a part of the final touches, with the barn. So we threw a window in down on the ground level. They didn't want to go up on the scaffolding 2 levels up. So we threw a window in at ground level so I could be a part of that. It's always exciting when you start getting the final touches together, throwing the windows in and doors in and stuff like that. Now we got the scaffolding around to the back, working on the rear window. Got the two ladders up there and the walk beam that I use for putting all the soffit in, and the rake trim on the steel roof. One of the next videos will show all the roof going on, but I'm just trying to stay in the course of doing the framing and finishing up the window boxes and doing all the rough framing and stuff like that. So this is the single window in the back, same size window as the ones in the front, 24 by 36. And you can see that opening in the back. I'll be putting my stairs in there, an L-shaped stairs. They'll come up about 3 foot and then, come about 3 foot to get me up to that height, and then they'll come across the barn to get me up the rest of the height. Since I didn't have enough width in the barn to do one slope of stairs, one angle of stairs going up, since it's only 20 foot wide, I had to make up a little bit of the height by doing L-shaped, coming up to a landing and then shooting over. Yes, we're just finishing up this rear window. I'm going to cut out that center girth there and throw the window in there. And then you can see on the steel roof where it comes down on the sides there, almost like these dog ears that I left, the steel fascia. In hindsight, I should have cut those things off, but I wasn't sure exactly how I was going to do my final touches there, where it all comes together. So I don't want to, cut them too short and then be like, oh, I wanted to bend them over or do this different or, do this or that. So I just left them long. But in hindsight, I should have cut those off because I remember a couple times moving the scaffolding around, moving the ladder around and stuff. I almost caught those things with my arm. I think I almost hit my face on them once or twice. So it was not a good idea in hindsight. Should have cut those off. Here we're doing the walk door. There's just one walk door in the barn. It's a 32-inch wide. I didn't feel the need to go 36-inch. I kind of like the look of a little bit smaller door. Plus, if I got to move anything large through it, I'll just use the main slider door right next to it to open it up. It's just, literally what it is, just a walk door just to come in and out, just carrying small miscellaneous items. What I like to do, with the walk doors is obviously get them all plumb and stuff like that, but even when you're getting close to the end, just close the door slightly, but not all the way, and just look at your light reveal coming in. It just gives you a good sense of this door is real plumb, and obviously leave the door open, see if it closes or opens on its own. And now we're coming back here to one of the sliding doors. The sliding door to the right, that's going to be for the goats, and this is the extra sliding door, the overflow if we get more animals. So on top of the 2x8 header, we're furring it out with a 2x6. So that gets the slider door beyond the face of the steel. Otherwise, the door would have just ran right into the steel. So this gets it out a little bit. It slides over the face of the steel without hitting it. I'm just throwing the sliding door track on there. We're going to come and do the same thing on the main slider door in the front of the barn. it's exciting when you start getting to these stages, just doing a lot of the final touches, prepping for steel, and then when you start getting on the steel, just you really start covering some ground. It's super exciting, but it's just doing all these little fine touches to get prepared for that stage of the game. But yeah, as we're nearing the end of this video, I just want to say thanks for sticking around for another episode of the Animal Barn.